I mean, we're 2 years in now, Andy, as you know, 2 years in now. It's firm. Gold has been reclassified as a first-tier asset class. Now, how is it possible? How would it be plausible for one exchange, one global exchange, which the COMEX, the CME COMEX exchange, how is it plausible that that could be the only non-Basel III compliant physical exchange, gold silver exchange on this planet Earth? How could it not be drained? And I think that's the story we're really looking at here. I think to answer the question is, it's happening not because the US markets wanted to comply. Why did they? They could have complied. They split, and as we know, and really it was pretty clear when the Bank of International Settlements squared all their last 500 tons on the 3rd of November 2011, just 2 months before they revalued gold as a first-tier asset class. So they're now zero, and the only borrowers, the only people that continued to borrow physical gold from the Bank of International Settlements, the Bank of England, have been the Fed. Now, why would they do that? Why, when every single global facing exchange is compliant, why is it when every single bullion bank, and we connect with some of the best top first tier liquidity providers as you do, they're all long for their own book. So how would it be possible is the question in my mind, that for them to exist even this far in, where you see a price that's being generated by a very dilutive paper market where manipulation has been rife for 50 plus years, and simply because it was possible, because it was a paper settled market, cartels could operate, it would be settled amongst their books, and the resulting price ended up being the accepted global price. Well, of course, every other central bank is looking at that and preying on it. So, of course, so I think the reason that this manipulation that we have historically seen and given evidence for, as you know, we've provided a lot of evidence to the CFTC, the DOJ over years. In fact, I can send you the link for the Russian television interview we did, where Bart Chilton admitted that we had reopened the closed down silver investigation, leading to the actual imprisonment and fines, close to $1 billion fine for JP Morgan and some of these actors. But the thing is, I think what I'm trying to say is, while all that's happening, in this meantime, everyone else has gone, right, I'll tell you what, that's cheap. That's not the real price. Why don't I just come and take it? And we had evidence, and in fact, in my last episode, I provided, I reported that we had 2 proxy buyers that we personally know had both stood for their 6,000 lot COMEX limit. The full amount that they were allowed to do, 18.6 tons, whatever it is. And they weren't the only ones. They cannot be the only ones. So I think, in a long story short, it's being sorted by this manipulation has to disappear, because the gold is flowing out on a one-way journey at a huge discount into all the other global exchanges, sovereign buyers, central bank buyers, institutional buyers. I think it makes complete sense to me, because, I mean, again, I think what we're looking at from the bigger picture is we're now looking at the US becoming a part, from gold and silver is concerned, a part of the global reset that we're seeing now, and they've been like an anchor trying to fight this all the way. And I think we just reached the point where there's too much technology coming in now. There's the ability to value the gold price is being revalued globally, and that liquidity that you and I have tracked this for so long. That liquidity that was partially paper centric has been flowing ever so slowly, one day by day, month by month, year by year, to the point where the lines have crossed, and the physical the price is being settled in the physical markets now. So it's impossible to not comply. And I think so. Yes, I think this is the next step. So I think, you've talked about ETF outflows. Yeah, and that's concurrent with COMEX outflows, and people talk about, well, look, yes, it's all to do with tariffs, and we've seen these big EFP spreads, and no, the EFP spreads is simply because the paper markets are getting drained. Fantastic amount of. I make 5 o'clock in the morning phone calls to all my Asian desks, Chinese contacts. Indian contacts, Saudi contacts, etc. And these desks, just every morning they say, hey, we're buying. Hey, guess what? The West's going to sell later. I think we saw that again today. West's going to sell at the pit open. And guess what? We're just going to grab it. And so we've seen this ridiculousness, this absolute, to mind-boggling stupidness where Asia buys, the West sells. Well, trouble is, most of the open interest, the COMEX open interest, where you could go fool enough people to buy into that, sell short with you, pull a few bids, get them to take some profits quickly. Oh goodness me, we're going into hell in a hell basket. So, I think. While that has been going on, then literally that open interest, the 75% of, we talked about it, I think Bloomberg talked about it in the past, where they've actually said 75% of all the oil traders really control that market. It's just pure speculation. It's why we got the volatility. Same guys that are running the gold and silver markets historically. It's just momentum traders, like 75, they don't care what the price is. It doesn't matter. They're not ever going to take delivery. It's nothing to do with them. This is just a paper trade. These guys have anchored their boat to Bitcoin now. To me, there's just not enough of these guys to take that bait anymore. And I think, so yeah, these guys are laughing their heads off and say to me in the 5 o'clock, hey, we'll keep buying, but we're going to save some dry powder for when the West opens. Yeah, and I think the connector, the key is you've got, as you say, London, NSFR compliant, T+1 deliverable. The FX price has to be backed. In other words, if you put up an offering to buy or sell, you have to, under NSFR compliance, you have to have that physical to deliver. Not so the COMEX. However, here's the problem. The exchange for physical mechanism connects the COMEX to the T+1 NSFR compliant marketplace. So yes, so basically that's why if you have the capacity to take 6,000 to buy your 6,000 lots, you're the limit they'll allow you to buy. And you're a sovereign wealth fund, you are a central bank, institutional trader wanting to actually find bullion that can be delivered not 3 months from now. And Andy, I'm hearing this morning up to 12 weeks. So it depends. If you want big size, up to 3 months. 12 weeks is 3 months. This is craziness. So
isn't that like a default though, Andrew?
Well, in the sense it is, because what they're doing is they're settling, and they're saying, and this is the Bank of England and is saying, and the LBMA saying, but you can have it in 3 months. You can have it in 8, 10, 12 weeks. But what they're offering you is a paper forward. That's what they're offering you. It's a paper forward, which you hope you better get that. So the point is, a paper forward says, yeah, okay, so really I can now, because it's technically NSFR compliant, I can then marry that forward off into New York because it's supposed to be a first year asset class, but it ain't. A forward is not. But this is the scam right now, is you've got the ability to actually say, yeah, well, here it is in 3 months, here's the forward, and here we're backing it, the Bank of England's backing it. Here, we'll even give it to you at a discount. What kind of nonsense is this? And then on the other side of the fence, you've got an EFP where you've actually somehow squared the issue because, yes, it can be shipped out later because you're backed. I mean, on paper you're backed, but you're not backed physically. And so as much as we're seeing bullion flowing into the COMEX vaults, the New York vaults, we're also seeing these same guys pulling it out and shoving it out the other way. So you've got this craziness going on here.